Welcome to this video. This is the first video in a series of 7 that demonstrates how to create a ball peen hammer on a lathe. Just a reminder to review the operations manual on your machine and follow all local and federal laws in regards to health and safety. It is recommended that you always wear safety glasses and steel-toed boots when operating a machine. Now let's look at the drawing of the hammer. This is the hammer that we are going to be making. It will be done in 2 parts. First is the hammer handle. We are going to spend a majority of our time on this hammer handle. The first thing that we need to do is calculate the size of stock that we need. I can see that my overall length of my piece is 9 inches right here, and it has a 1-inch diameter. For this project, we're going to be using a chucking shoulder. So we want about 2 inches extra on the length. And we can leave the diameter at 1 inch. This is because this diameter is knurled. Usually if I buy stock, I want to buy it at least 1/8 of an inch bigger than the largest stock that I have. So for this project, we're going to need a piece of material. This is going to be aluminum that's at least 11 inches long and at least 1 inch in diameter. So now if I look at the part, the first thing I'm going to do is plan out how I'm going to machine this. Right now I have my stock in red, and I'm going to show cuts with a blue mark. The first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to turn a chucking shoulder. A chucking shoulder is used just so I have a nice clean surface that I can chuck on in my 3-jaw chuck. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a facing cut at the end of the stock, and I'm just going to turn a diameter down here. Now this isn't super critical to any size. It can be 900 thou, 800 thou, 750 thou. It's not critical. I just need a surface that I can chuck on. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the part out of the chuck, flip it around, and then I'm going to do a facing cut on this side right here, and I'm going to do a little bit of a center drill in here as well. That is so I can just support the workpiece with the tailstock. If you don't know what any of these terms mean yet, that's okay. We're going to be covering everything in future videos. So after I have my part, I have it faced, center drilled, and I have my chucking shoulder, I'm going to grab onto this diameter with some chuck jaws here of my 3-jaw chuck, and I'm going to start to take some cuts. The first thing I'm going to do is this knurl. So I'm going to do a knurling operation across this entire diameter here. After that, I'm going to start turning some of my diameters. So I like to start at the biggest diameter and then work my way down. So the biggest diameter I have here is my 875. Ignore this 900 thou back here for now. We're going to come back to that. So I have 875 by 4.5. So I'm going to take a cut all the way to that shoulder there. After that, I have my 700 thou, and that's going to be 875 thou, or 500 plus 375. And then I'm going to take my 1/2 inch cut, and that is by 1/2 inch in length right there. After that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this taper using my telescoping taper attachment, and there'll be a separate video on that. And then I can cut my thread right here. And for this part, we're just going to use a die and die stock to do that. After that, I am going to part off my workpiece. I'm going to leave some material. I'm going to leave this a little bit long so I'll have some material to clean up at the end. Then I'm going to flip it around and I'm going to use some shims and I'm going to chuck on the knurl and I'm going to turn this 900 thou diameter by 313 as well as the 5.5 degree chamfer at the end. So that's just an overview of how I would go about machining this job. After I cut my hammer handle, I am going to cut my hammer head, but we'll cover this in a later video. This is just a short introduction to the project and the steps we will take to machine the part. Let's get making some chips.